Hie thee to the ocean city, to the exodal labyrinth, the journey to the blue depths to conquer the shadows of night. Though you know not what this means, you go towards Armor. What awaits is time's end, death's demise, a tempestuous dream to push away the unfathomable dark and bring light to Armor. A stormy adventure has ended. Hey there everyone, this is Liferake, going back to my playthrough of Etrian Odyssey 3, the final part, and probably the last you're ever going to see Etrian Odyssey 3 from me, unless I decide to do another full rush. So, the game's over. We've beaten the AG, we've beaten all the bosses, I've acquired all the items on a separate video that I didn't really like very much, but regardless, that video's in the description because it's pretty much essentially scrapped at this point, even though I've already released it. Regardless, to complete the game, you must complete the guild card, and the guild card has the following things on it. Once that found says 100%, you have basically beaten the game. The reason it doesn't say 100% right now is because you have to report it in order for it to be considered found. Doesn't matter that much. Alright, so in order to beat the game, you must have started the game, reached the 3rd stratum, beaten the Road ending, beaten the Deep City ending, beaten the True ending, beaten the bonus boss, beaten all the sea bosses, including Elder Dragon, gotten all the limit skills from chest, from sea quest, how have you, raided all of the treasure chests in the labyrinth, completed all the quests from Missy. This is report all the barter stuff, glossary, and all that, which is what we're going to do to finish the game. Beaten all the monsters, and gotten all the items from said monsters. So to complete the game for me, all I have to do is swing by the end of the port. I'm going to quickly swing by the Synodus as well and show you guys the Monsters Codex being completed. Basically, as long as there's no questions, you are fine. The last monster I had to find was the Nautilus, which is a monster that is sprung off of Coraltron Gold, so I had to wait for him to spawn it, but that wasn't so bad. And the item compendium, which the last item I got from the item compendium was Dragon's Conditional, as well as a few other, well, no, the last items I got were the 5th stratum job point items, followed by the Thunderhorn. Nothing in here should keep you going. I think the hardest item to get from a monster is the Happiness Fluff. You have to find a blue Pazaran, hit it, make sure it lives, use Thunder Prophecy on the... And yes, it has to be Thunder Prophecy. You have to use Thunder Prophecy on the yellow Pazaran, and then you can kill the yellow Pazaran. Because if you don't do that, the yellow Pazaran self-destructs, and it's kind of impossible to kill. I'm not kidding. You have to use Volt Prophecy, because if you use Volt Prophecy, it will prevent the attack, but if you use Anti-Volt, it'll just explode anyway. So you have to prevent the attack, and Volt Prophecy is the only way to do that. So there's a specific build for a boss, and there's a specific skill you need for a specific monster. Otherwise, you can Lucky Hammer and Formaldehyde your way through the conditional drops, and it's not so bad. Alright, well, so let's go to the end report and report the last of this. To get all the sea stuff requires a ton of patience. Like, I wish I was kidding, but it really does take a lot of patience to get all this stuff and do all this stuff and find all of these things, especially the Overlord Squid and the... Oh, just the Overlord Squid, basically, is the biggest pain in the butt. Otherwise, we know what you're doing and get the rest of them. Some common ones people can mess up on: Torn Flag. You equip the South Banner and kill this black ship up here, you'll get a Torn Flag. Otherwise, most of these is from things you kind of can do intuitively. The only other thing I can think of that isn't so common is just like the epigraph piece and stuff. Come up here and you've got a basket star. Those are the things I think stand out as the hardest to find. So, for treasure chests in the... Oh, never mind. It's time to end the game, though. For reals, I've spoken for long enough. Yep, we have. Yeah, that was, yeah. There is nothing I haven't seen. I've played this game twice. I've seen everything. And he gives us the final item in the game. The armored shield. That starts the credits. This is the only credits where I can have sideways on and it'd be just fine. Because it does a map scroll on the bottom screen and the credit scroll on the top screen, instead of mixing the screens and making things look terrible. So anyway, this has been my second playthrough of Etrian Odyssey 3. I hope you've enjoyed it. I think it got a little rocky kind of towards the end, but that's fine. The post-game mostly featured all the bosses in 6th Stratum, and I think that's kind of what I wanted to focus on. So, even though I had the last video where I basically got all the rest of the items, I don't think it was that important. I don't think many people thought that was important. It wasn't very well received. That's fine. It wasn't the only video that wasn't well received. So that's fine. My god, just reviewing all these maps. You're gonna see a lot of faux symbols with memos on them. Those are marked Pazarans. Otherwise, if you don't have your map completed for some whatever reason, I mean, you can use mine. I'm not going to stop you. Just, you know, don't be an idiot. So, Etrian Odyssey 3 used to be my favorite Etrian Odyssey game. It probably, I mean, sometimes I'll mention that it is, but it really isn't anymore. Etrian Odyssey 4 is still in my heart. Because, duh, it's Etrian Odyssey 4. And when they release Etrian Odyssey 5, that's probably going to steal my heart, and the cycle continues. But, Etrian Odyssey 3 for the longest time was my favorite in the series. Not because it was overwhelmingly, not because it was the easiest of the series, or because of anything. It's mostly because of the style and the decent story compared to the other two games. And it's just something that I embrace much more than the other Etrian Odyssey games. And my favorite part about Etrian Odyssey 3, aside from the fact that I can get away with people have gone away with some really wacky things, is that I think it brings the most variety in the game. Not like class-wise, but more like how you can beat the game. The bosses are well designed, except for the AG, and have many ways you can defeat them. And you can build a team, and it can typically work, even against the hardest of odds, as long as you run like maybe 2 staple classes. The rest can be whatever you want. It's a good game that way. Something I really like about it. There's some times where you're gonna have to bust a move in order to get something. The Gold Pazaran and the AG are basically the only two that will really require you to change your setup ever. One requiring basically full prophecy, and the other requiring an entire build just to beat him. Not gonna complain. The Tag and Bateau one I showed off is relatively easy to get by without murdering your entire team. I love this song too. Etrian Odyssey 3 I think had some of the best music too. Oh, Etrian Odyssey 3. This is Zarian Guild. Zarian's the guild I use for every game I start for the NLP. The ship is Into the Labyrinth, because that is a Etrian Odyssey website I recommend you visit. IntoTheLabyrinth.net. And these are the adventures I used. Ganto, Kira, and Zara thicking through, Vincent as well. Quint went and he saw TR gathering stuff for us. Mina and Lara being the cameos from the previous LP. Ryan being a guy I barely used. Katrina being the new surprising useful member. Hello being a person is just kind of a hello. I use her to pass time without spending a lot of money. And then I think the last ones were Liferake and Pixie, which are the tank that got used maybe a few times, and the wildling, who was also known as Winona, that surprisingly got a lot of use. This game was presented by Atlas. Let's save our cleared game. Now when you start the game up, you'll get the armored shield and nothing else. You've beaten the game, so load up the game. swing on over to your items, and you will have a... Here it is. Armored Shield is a shield that can be used by anyone. It basically is treated like an accessory. Gives you the combined effects of the Armored and the... What am I thinking of? It has the combined effects of both the Armored and the Deep City Metal, so it makes it OP. The problem is, you only get it after you beat the game. But hey, if you wanted to do something after you beat the game, it's a good item to put on someone. Hey, but, you know, that's it. That's all there is. So, I guess this is the part where I give my final thoughts. I was supposed to do that during the credits, but I found something else to talk about, apparently. So, I use this song way too much. I would like to thank all of you for watching. I've gotten quite a few new regulars, and I greatly appreciate your viewings. And the most asked question I know is going to be asked is, will I do EO4 or EOU? And the answer is still yes. It just might not be how you want it to be presented, or it might be better than you expect. I don't know. It's hard to describe. I've already reviewed the concept with people, and I pretty much got a 50-50 response on it. So basically what I experimented with is I experimented with the setup that didn't use a capture card, but eliminated most of the background issues. And it was still kind of iffy. You could see my hands, and the dios would move around in place, but otherwise it was a static background, a static camera position, good lighting. So I'm not sure what you guys thought of that. Well, I know what you guys thought about it. It was 50-50, but I may do it that way, or I might do cave in and get a capture card. We'll see. As a college student, my resources are rather limited, but I'll see how much I break my back in order for you guys to see Etrian Odyssey 4 and Etrian Odyssey U, because they are great games as well, and I do want to do them one day. Now, outside of current events, I would of course naturally like to thank the regulars, especially those that commented: Sandma the Swift, Element Ninja, Terran, and Raynar being the most common ones I've seen, though others have showed up, and I do appreciate their feedback and input to a discussion, or what have you. I would like to thank basically all the regulars from dropping by, and I think that's it. So hey there everyone, this has been Liferake, and as always I thank you for watching. Goodbye.